everybody, it's Mia with TMBH. Today is Trending Tuesday, and we're going to talk about a very interesting figure in sports. You may or may not have heard of Johnny Manziel, and if you have heard of Johnny Manziel, it could be for two really different reasons. So, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a football person. I barely watch the Super Bowl, but I know about Johnny Manziel. I'm the half of people that have heard of Johnny more so because of his off-the-field behavior and kind of antics and just his celebrity persona, right? And then there's another half that really know him for all his football stuff, and that's totally not me. But I learned some football stuff about Johnny Manziel. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a story. So Johnny, when he was 20 in the year 2013, he was a college football player, and he wasn't just any college football player. He was a particularly good college football player. In fact, he was a freshman, and he won the Heisman Trophy, meaning he was the first freshman to win the Heisman Trophy, and that is the biggest honor you could get in college football, right? So this kid he's good at his sport. He was breaking records, stacking up win after win. He was beating teams that people said that he wasn't supposed to be able to beat. So this kid is out here, and people are loving Johnny Manziel. They call him Johnny Football. He's a whirlwind, right? And so eventually what ends up happening with Johnny is that the whirlwind catches up for him. A lot of people say, oh, it's a whirlwind success, and they make it seem like it's a good thing. Sometimes whirlwinds can be too all-consuming, and that's kind of what happened. The whirlwind surrounding Johnny caught up to him and kind of consumed him, right? So he gets all this fame through all of these great things he's doing through football, and he ends up becoming this really big part of celebrity culture. So rap, I don't know if you guys know who the rapper Drake is. Drake's a really big rapper. Okay, I love Drake. Anyway, Drake loved Johnny Manziel. He was shouting him out in songs. And then you had Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber wanted to party with Johnny all the time. There's all these photos around that time that are coming out. I had no idea who Johnny Manziel was, but in terms of football, if you had told me that name at the time, I just knew that he was the dude who hung out with Drake and Justin Bieber and the celebrities. And I think a lot of that ended up you could have looked at those things. They were kind of warning signs for what was to come in the future, right? So he has all of these great things going for him, and then all of a sudden, he kind of gets enveloped in this party lifestyle. Apparently, Johnny had kind of always been a drinker. He was in college, a college football player, and so a lot of us normalize college and drinking it's duh, of course that happens. That's kind of the American attitude towards drinking in college. Keep in mind he was 20, so he wasn't even of the legal age to drink. But, still, people were very accepting of the fact that Johnny was a drinker. So now you've added, this kid who already is drinking when he's not supposed to, and, he's not, he's a little bit too into this party culture. Now, all of a sudden, he's thrown into celebrity. Getting that level of fame when you're not able to handle yourself and you don't have a good grip on yourself as a person is really dangerous, because fame comes with a lot of opportunity, but it also comes with a lot of temptation, and temptation that is disguised in the veil of opportunity. So everyone's oh, Johnny has all these opportunities to hang out with these celebrities and go to all these parties. Those things are not opportunities. Those things are temptations. Opportunities are things like being a first-round draft pick for the NFL draft. That was an opportunity that Johnny had. In fact, he ended up being a first-round draft pick, and he ended up being drafted to the Cleveland Browns. That was a great opportunity. Unfortunately, that opportunity ended up being squandered because of his lack of ability to resist the temptation of kind of that party lifestyle. So like I said, people really normalized his drinking at first as just whatever, it's normal college behavior. Then when he started hanging out with celebrities, oh, well, he's a celebrity. That's what celebrities do. They go out and they get drunk. Duh, that's what they do. He's a young dude. It's fine. And so people were very dismissive about these early warning signs that he was maybe too involved and overly indulgent in alcohol. And then all of a sudden it stopped just being alcohol, right? Then it was alcohol and it was weed, right? And so everyone's oh, it's weed's legal in so many states. But when you have somebody who has an issue with substance abuse, then it's not just weed, all right? And then all of a sudden the weed and the alcohol became weed, alcohol, and ecstasy, and cocaine, and just pills. And Johnny Manziel ended up becoming involved with a number of drugs. And so at one point, you know, very early in his career, his parents had mentioned, like, and I believe it was like 2013, around the same time he had won the Heisman Trophy, his parents had admitted that he had a bit of a drinking problem and that they were concerned about it. And then he had all these drug issues that compounded it. So ultimately what ends up happening with Johnny, like this kid who has all this opportunity, he's drafted by the Browns, he's like, everybody's like, he's going to fix the Browns, this is awesome. Well, the alcohol and the drugs, I mean, that became what was more important to him. The fame, the attention that came with it makes you feel good. He was struggling internally, and so he had all of these temptations that were making him feel good in this very surface level way, and he was chasing that as opposed to chasing the real opportunity, and ended up squandering that opportunity. He wasn't playing well. He wasn't focused. I mean, there were coaches and other football players that were out here trashing this kid as just flat out calling him lazy, because he had all of this opportunity and he squandered all of it, right, for drugs and alcohol. I don't like to view it that way, like he squandered it, because it makes it seem like he's like this horrible person, but he's not. I mean, he was a kid and he was dealing with depression, and he ended up being diagnosed. He ended up going to treatment. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He was bipolar, and he wasn't getting treated. He had people who were enabling him around him, and I mean, he went through some stuff, and unfortunately, the world just doesn't care. And so when he wasn't focusing and doing what he needed to do, the NFL cut him. And ultimately, what ended up happening was Johnny went to treatment afterwards, and he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and currently he is in a position where he's trying to make a comeback. Unfortunately for him, they're not sure if that comeback means he'll ever play football again, right? We don't know. He's, like I said, I mean, if you look into Johnny Manziel, he got into a lot of legal trouble. He has a very bad reputation now. So we don't know what his comeback looks like. He just wants to be on the field, and you don't know how, he doesn't specify how, he just wants to be involved in football again. And we are really wishing the best for him, because ultimately, that's the other thing. You can't look at people who have these issues like addiction as like these horrible people. He was somebody who went through something and it was horrible and he messed up, but he's worth investing in, you know? He went through rehab. He's trying to make an honest effort at doing better. We wish the best for him, you know, and that we hope that he got all those skills that he needed to get in order to kind of move forward in his life and become like the best version of himself that he can be. And we really genuinely hope that he does have a comeback. And I feel like his story is a really good lesson for anybody who is struggling with addiction, because it's real. I mean, he's not perfect. He messed up a lot. He lost a lot of opportunity, but you look at him now, he's a lot more healthy, and it might not be the same opportunity that he once had, but he'll make another opportunity if he keeps going the way that he seems to be going now. So yeah, that was our Trending Tuesday topic, just a little bit about Johnny Manziel. I will see you guys tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. Don't forget to watch our daily live morning video, or not our daily live video, but don't forget to watch our daily morning video, which is a separate video, and we'll link you to that. I will see you guys here again at 1 o'clock tomorrow.